I watched the BBC Match of the Day interview, and he was pretty fuming. He was like, "I've just lost my mind with these referees sometimes."
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. On Match of the Day, he was like,
maybe that was a different. The one I saw, he just said, "Look, he just made a mistake."
You know, he said no question, but he was clearly baffled and perplexed by it.
Well, obviously, but he ain't going to come out and go,
Guardiola said, next question, I will not do a Mikel Arteta comment.
Yeah, he said that. Is that a real thing? It's on Sky Sports. AI or what? It's on Sky Sports. He said, I will not do a Mikel Arteta comment.
So really,
that's basically almost the same as doing one, though.
No, but that means that we're in his head.
No, Tim's saying I'm not a little crybaby when my thing's on the way. I'm a winner.
Yeah, but you'd only raise that point as if it was someone that was on your level of competition, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If it was someone kept doing those kind of press conferences in League One, you wouldn't go, "Oh, I wouldn't do what Gary bloody."
It's true.
God, this is reaching.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Yes,
No, it's not.
The reason he's referencing it is because Arteta threw a massive fit in the press and they released a club statement of a decision that was right.
If Gary O'Neill would have reacted the same way as Arteta and only O'Neill did it, he would have said, "I'm not going to do it." Gary O'Neill.
No, he wouldn't. You know what he would have done? He would have just done no comment.
Exactly.
You're full of shit.
Why didn't he just do next question?
Yeah.
Why did he add on the next question?
If you're such a big club who are in this title race, why are you sat there going, "Oh, he's thinking about us"? Oh, Pep's thinking about us.
Arsenal living rent free, and Pep said
exactly.
No, they're living rent free in yours.
Does Klopp ever do similar? Klopp does similar. Klopp does similar.
And how long ago? He's not going to bring up something that Klopp said from 6 months ago, is he? This is a relevant piece.
He's not
Arteta complained.
And never as bad as Arteta's.
Pep didn't exactly go, "Next question, we're not doing Lewis Bowden, am I?"
No, and let's accept Arteta complained and they released a club statement of a decision that was proven to be correct.
Yeah.
Guardiola actually has grounds here to be upset because it was clearly wrong, and he's taken the high ground.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate this high ground.
Yes.
He's either Gary O'Neill.
No, but the point is, he's only referencing him because he sees him as a threat.
No, because it just happened. It literally just happened a week or so ago.
Look, first of all, yes.
What are you talking about?
They will see Arsenal as a threat. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's why he's referencing him.
It is.
Well, it is.
It isn't.
Because it's relevant to the situation that Pep's in.
Also, I thought
there's shit like that happens all the time in lower league.
No, club's not like that. No, it doesn't.
Having a run to the press.
I'm talking about the decision.
This is a friend stabbing another friend in the back right here.
I'm talking about the decision that happened at the end of the game where the referees had a howler. That happens all the time in lower leagues. And lower league managers come out and say officiating is shit.
Yeah, but they don't react the way
Pep Guardiola's not going, such a next comment, let me just reference...
No, but no. You're reaching.
I'm not.
You are reaching. Why are we bringing it up otherwise? Honestly, Guardiola, I think, never thinks about you. I think he looks a little old arsehole. I think we'll take him
this year.
Hang on a minute. You think Guardiola never...
Every single year he batters you.
Hey. Pipe it down. You've just said Guardiola never thinks about their number one.
You are their number one title challengers. You are not there, because he knows you'll beat yourself.
Yes, we are.
You'll beat yourselves.
No, hang on, sorry.
Yes,
you think Arsenal aren't City's number one?
Liverpool are a bigger threat because you're going to beat yourselves at the end of the season. He knows even if they're 13 points clear, they'll bottle it themselves. I don't have to do anything.
You actually onto a good point until you just open your mouth.
He doesn't have to worry about
the same comparisons as last season. We're not the same team as last season. We're not playing as well.
Why do you think we're 3 points clear already?
You were even more clear.
Players like
Declan Rice are players that will win us the Premier League.
But you were further clear.
We still got more points though.
Why'd you sign hang on.
Higher competition.
Why'd you sign someone for £100 million if you don't think that's an effort to try and win the Prem?
I've never whistled, but what was Havertz's price tag?
In fairness, though,
and he's won us 3 points. He won us 3 points against Brentford.
Is he the type of character who's going to win you the Premier League?
Yes.
If
we win by 3 points, then yes.
A man that's won the Champions League doesn't know how to win. That's an interesting statement.
You can't even believe this argument you're making. You can't believe that.
We don't believe Arsenal are title contenders, but you can think Villa's a title contender.
So
the argument is Arsenal are their biggest threat. That is true.
I've got a question for you. Okay.
Hey, no, I've got a question for you.
No, let me ask my question first.
You don't think Arsenal are title contenders, but you do think Villa are.
this question.
Let me ask this question. That's what he's fucking said.
It's a simple little question. So you should have won the league last season, but you didn't. Now you've signed Havertz. Is he the difference maker?
No, Declan Rice is the person I said prior to that. And then you said, but what about Havertz? What about Timber?
Okay,
what about players that will sign in January to try and win the Premier League?
Let's go full circle.
It's forward thinking, Lewis. You don't sign someone for £100 million if you don't want to try and win the Prem.
So you're quitting price tag to their ability to win your Premier League when you spend many millions on Havertz.
I'm quitting a price tag that seems too low for a guy that's probably the second best defensive midfielder in the Premier League.
You are so lost, man. Look, Declan Rice is a good signing to go in the right direction. He's not the difference maker to then all of a sudden be able to take over Man City.
In terms of performances this year, he's top 3 players in the Premier League.
But him alone can't do it.
No, but Arsenal
he's one good character.
There's a reason Arsenal are 3
bottlers.
points ahead of City right now in the league.
One good character, bunch 10 bottlers.
Nah,
in your
you've
team.
been
10 bottlers. Are you want to wind us up on purpose?
You are. Look him smiling.
Because it's true.
It's true.
No, I actually think he believes it.
I don't know.
We don't have a squad of 10 bottlers.
Did you not bottle last season? Am I mental? You were 13 points clear.
Right, but
why do you keep bringing up last season?
Yeah. Because all those players are still playing for you now. And you have to say it's mental.
So in 2015-16, you were going, well, Leicester are never going to win this because they should have got relegated last year.
Yeah.
Or you're going to just play the season as it progresses.
Lads, let me sum up this argument. I don't think Guardiola worries about
Whoa. No, you're backtracking because you know you've lost the second argument, which is about whether or not we are actual title contenders.
No, you are in the race, but you'll beat yourself, is what I'm saying.
That's so...
You'll bottle it. You'll beat yourself.
Such waffle, mate. If we think we're in a genuine chance of winning the Premier League, there's absolutely 100% certainty that we strengthen in January. Yeah. And to add to the fact that Jurriën Timber, one of the best performing defenders before he got injured, will be back as well.
I like him as well.
This clip is brought to you by Super 6, and the Super 6 jackpot hasn't been won, so it's rolling over this weekend, which means £500,000 could be yours. You could win it, and even if you don't win it, it then goes over to £750,000. Get over to the app, simply predict 6 scores, and the jackpot could be yours. You can also compete against myself, Reeve, and Theo on the official Pitchside Mini League. Make sure you join that by using the code PTCH23. We're also giving away £100 classic football shirts voucher if you top our round. It's super simple. Just predict your 6 scores, enter your golden goal, hit submit, and you're all set. Follow the link in the description and play now.
But the issue is you're Arsenal, and you
can't just keep saying that though.
I can't because you always do it. The whole history I've said is that you bottle it. So it's not crazy for me to assume you'll do it again.
You're like a broken record.
5 years in a row, and I say you're going to do it this year. That is not mental.
All right, then Newcastle are going to get relegated this year.
We've only been in a title.
In their history, they've been relegated.
Lewis, we've only been in a genuine title race for 1 season out of the last 5. So how can you say we've bottled the last 5 years?
We haven't even chance to bottle.
We're in a period of transition to try and become a better team.
Can I comment on that?
And now you've said that we've bottled the last 5 years of Premier League football.
Can I comment on that note? Can I comment on that note? Okay, so you've only been in 1 title race, is what you've said, yes. So why is it mental
to the finish?
So why is it mental for me to say that you're not City's biggest title challengers when you've only been in 1 race and you bottled it? Liverpool have proven that they are capable of beating Man City, and they have competed with them year on year.
This current Liverpool side isn't.
Mate, Lewis, Liverpool finished
What are you on about? What are you on about?
Liverpool finished 5th.
Yeah, look how
Manchester United finished higher than them, and they're completely out of the title race, in your opinion.
Did you see what he just said? Did you just hear what he just said?
What did you say?
He said they finished 5th, and he said, yeah, but look at them now, they're cooking.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Stupid? Are you actually stupid?
They beat Fulham in the 94th minute, 4-3.
How are Arsenal not cooking when they're ahead of them in the league?
You were 5 points ahead last season and you lost it.
But you just said you don't care about Liverpool finishing 5th because they're cooking now.
In statistics, correlation is not causation. In statistics, correlation is not causation, right? So you can't predetermine what will happen in the future off previous data.
Yes, you
Use what this season is acting out and playing out as to determine whether or not you think Arsenal win the league. Not whether or not when we lost 4 or 5 players last season and capitulated. Yeah. Completely different fucking story. This time round, are we a good enough team to win the league? Yes, the answer is yes.
No.
Is it not possible that they've learned from last year?
They look defensively way more sound.
It could be a situation that they can't bottle worse than last season, so they're like, okay, at least it can't be as bad as last year.
No, but think of it like...
Can't be as bad as last year. What? Leading the title for 260 days and then finishing second.
When you say that, it literally sounds like Spurs celebrating, like putting the pressure on.
No, but surely it's reasonable to presume that they've arguably got a better goalie. If Saliba stays fit, along with Declan Rice, and if the front line start firing like they've just started to, like they did last year, it is very reasonable to assume they've learned from last season with the extra steel of Declan Rice in midfield and Saliba staying fit. If Timber comes back, he'll probably replace Zinchenko, I assume, at left back.
Yeah.
It is.
Tomiyasu's taken Ben White's spot as well.
Arteta would have learned probably big from mistakes last year. It's reasonable to presume Arsenal are a lot better this year mentally to not bottle it. I get what you're saying, that they could because they've done it before.
All I'm saying is...
Manchester City are the favourites in this situation, right? But you're saying that off what you've seen this year, that we don't have enough to win the Premier League. And I disagree, because I think
and they are definitely
game
the
by game, we've crossed every challenge
let me respond to what Tom said quickly. So you mentioned all these like good reasons, which are viable, of why they should be up there and winning the Premier League.
Yeah.
But last season, I would argue you had equal, if not more, reasons as to why you were going to win the league that year. With the bringing back who was coming back from loan, Saliba coming back in, doing great, fantastic ball. You had so many good reasons last year as well. So each season you can have all this list of fantastic reasons of why you did it.
No, but the difference with last year is they weren't as strong. They lost Saliba, and City just went into ridiculous mode after January.
City haven't even had KDB yet, boys.
What about last season?
The best team that ever exists.
You can't keep switching.
But all we have to do to win the Premier League from here on out, yes, granted it's a long way away, is just concentrate on our own game. Yeah. We've already played City once, so even if they win all of theirs,
and they
can't beat us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a long way out though. There's
no, but what I'm saying is, if Arsenal win everything that's in front of them, that's all that's needed to win the Premier League. Also, I think that team is capable of doing that.
They're 100% capable, and they should win it. But I don't think Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal will. But they definitely are the main contenders.
Yeah, I agree. You're capable.
You can't use the Liverpool argument, because name what was Liverpool's midfield when they won the title? He said that not one player is there anymore.
No, look, Tom, he was saying that them finishing fifth is irrelevant last year.
But you can't use
Arsenal finishing second is relevant. You're doing one argument for one and then not using another argument for another.
You're taking a shorter sample size. The sample size of 5 years with Arsenal is you weren't even in the Champions League, whilst Liverpool have been continuously. No, but Liverpool.
Who cares?
Because Arsenal's problem isn't the players. Arsenal's problem isn't the players. It's the mentality when it gets to that finish line. Liverpool over the years have displayed that when they get to the finish line, they maintain it.
But they've just signed a player
once. They've been putting on the once. Yeah, they've done a much better job than you, haven't they? They've done a much better job than you.
But hang on. They've just signed a player who's now their linchpin, who got West Ham over the line to win a trophy. So you can't knock his mentality or ability to win trophies or win.
And also,
Jesus has won how many fucking trophies?
Are you saying mentality can't change? So once a club is identified as this mentality, I never said that. They can never change. They can never get better.
It may well change. I just don't think it has.
Just to combat everything that you've just said in one point alone, you said in the last 5 years, Arsenal historically are not good enough to win the Premier League or can bottle every chance they have, right? Declan Rice had only just started senior football at that point, and now he's the second best defensive midfielder in the Premier League, if not the world. So,
wait, what's up?
I'm saying
that 5 years ago is a long time. You've said
their best player now wasn't even playing senior football.
Correct.
Then.
There you go.
Yeah,
you were in Yemen 5 years ago.
I use a misinterpreted my argument. I still think Yemen.
Where was it?
You definitely have the players. I'm just saying, like back to the original point, that Guardiola will think they'll take care of themselves because that's what you do.
No, your original point was Liverpool are stronger favourites to win the Premier League than we are.
In my personal favourite, if you go like off the bookmakers, no. But in my personal opinion, Liverpool are the threat.
But why? Why are they a bigger threat than Arsenal?
Because I know why. Because Arsenal bottle jobs, remember?
Well, let's just have a look at the manager, Klopp, who's like by far more experienced when it comes into the running at the end of the season. Arteta, what has he shown? He's shown when it gets into that running, he can't maintain the composure in the squad. He should have seen you over the line. The end result you had last season was embarrassing, and that fall off was mental. Klopp won't have that kind of fall off.
I agree. Wait, no, that's
technically not true, is it?
He's also he's
done that previously.
Did you realise that?
Yes, but he
left Dortmund in like a relegation battle.
Yeah, that's true.
In the Premier League, come on, lads.
But you're making it as if Arteta's just this pony manager who can't do anything.
No, he's a great manager, but he hasn't proven that when it gets tough in that Premier League race and they need to pull out the bag.
Do you not think Arsenal look a lot like steelier this year? Do you not think?
Yeah.
They're not as good to watch. They're not as pretty.
Yeah, they win.
They look harder.
We're doing what City did in 2020/2021, where they'd win by like 1-0.
Doesn't matter though.
But
also, you're making out as if, you know, when Arteta came to Arsenal were like in real trouble.
Yeah.
Arteta has, like, him and Edu, I'd say, are the two single-handedly that changed Arsenal around over the last 5 years.
You would have sacked him if he didn't win the cup. Let's not pretend that we were all.
But he did win a cup. He won a trophy.
Yeah, but let's not pretend that like it's all been like fantastic going up and out. Like it's clicked last season.
You were buying the Arteta out shirts.
Yeah, there was a big Arteta out thing.
How dare you? How dare you?
And he's a good manager. But
really pissed me off with the whole Arteta. Arteta out really pissed me off.
You had it in your bio.
Shut up, man.
Hashtag Arteta.
And I'd argue a FA Cup is a lot different because those are singular games that are dispersed. A run-in is you can't escape from it. There's no break for a few weeks to regroup. Week after week, you've got to maintain it and get morale up and somehow figure out and train.
Winning a final deserves.
Why are you struggling when you're playing twice a week then? And then every international break you end up playing.
We just beat Chelsea. We drew with PSG away and beat Man United. I think that's not struggling. That's displaying that we can turn it around.
Back to Dortmund, who apparently are shit.
And Bournemouth.
Yeah, so we had a bad result and then we turned it around with a limited squad.
Okay, let me throw this back to you. Eddie Howe, traditionally, and as always, usually, when shit goes bad, it stays bad.
Yeah, this is one of your worst takes.
Has he not disproved that at Newcastle?
Yeah, okay.
So he's improved as a manager,
Exactly.
learned from mistakes, and he's now a better manager in certain situations. Can we not argue that Arteta has now done that?
Or not even that, the Arsenal squad as a whole.
He can do it. He hasn't done it yet. If he does it, it'll be at the end of the season.
Actually, I don't think Arsenal are going to win the league, but just the way they've set up this season and watching them, they have learned. They're playing a completely different... They don't care about looking pretty. It doesn't matter who scores. All they care about is winning. That's it.
It's true. He's right.
Well, for me, it comes down at the end of the season, isn't it? Maybe at the end of the season, I might be completely
right
wrong.
at the end, or I'm wrong at the end, but we'll get there in fucking 8 months.
Well, we can't. Neither of us are neither right or wrong until we get into that point at the end of the season.
As of now, you are wrong.
I know, but as of right,
Arteta and Arsenal look better.
No, but taking this moment is not a fair picture of the season.
You're basing what you see this year as irrelevant because of what you saw last year.
No, you just look good this year, sir. Yeah, but you look good last year as well.
I don't think Arsenal will capitulate like they did last year, but I don't think they'll be good enough to win it in the end.
Well, the thing is, like, they probably won't do it as they did last season, because for them to do it like they did last season, they have to actually build that gap, which I don't think you'll build that big of a gap this season.
City look beatable at the minute.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like everyone is a bit more beatable this season. The whole level's sort of like balanced out a bit. There's a lot of... I don't know. Even this weekend alone, mate, was a lot of close results.
It's the most points ever from a top four at this stage in the season, so I don't know about that.
Villa are 1 point behind City, which is crazy.
There is a big discrepancy between the top dogs and then like everybody else.
Yeah, it's just not... like 2-1 over Wolves.
You watch Sheffield United.
Yeah, wait, what are you saying about the 2-1 Wolves?
You just beat the Wolves 2-1.
No, but they battered them.
Battered.
I know, but the scoreline's maintained. Right? I'm sorry, Rafa Benitez kept us up just off keeping these games close and stealing draws.
Lewis, a few more mates went to the game and they were like, that was never a 2-1 game ever.
It should have been 6-0 in the first half.
And they said even after they scored, there was no way Wolves were going to...
We had these conversations at the start of the season, but who did you drop points to at the start of the season? Remember? Yeah, we were having these arguments. Eventually, every now and again, you will get caught when you really do not deserve to lose.
Yeah, but they haven't.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
So does every team. That's like explaining football.
I know, but not every team's trying to go for the title, mate. It's more, you have more scrutiny because you can't afford to do that.
But that's
the Premier League.
That's right from City exactly the same.
I know, that's what my point is. I'm saying it's a lot closer between the lower teams competing with the bigger teams.
What? No, it isn't. It really isn't.
They played Spurs, by the way.
What was the Newcastle Sheffield United score?
Who won?
But yeah, we're not... Well, we could be title challengers.
I nearly slipped up there.
Right, anyway. Speaking of the discrepancy between the top and the bottom...
That was interesting. Brain cellless.